Quick question. Have you ever stared at your to-do list for so long that you started to negotiate with it like it was a hostage situation? Like, okay, I'll do the laundry if you'll let me ignore those emails.
Yeah, or maybe you've been so confused about your next move that you've convinced yourself that reorganizing the garage is somehow some deep providing soul work.
Is it not? I thought it was. But here's the thing. What if that foggy, overwhelming feeling, it doesn't mean you're stuck? I mean, what if you're just stumped?
So today we're talking about the difference between being truly stuck versus just simply being stumped, and how your energy and your mindset and your ability to reframe the moment might be the only thing keeping you from your next big breakthrough.
And spoiler alert, sometimes the only thing we're really stuck in is just a bad frame.
This is the nature of everything, so let's coin it.
Welcome to the Nature of Everything podcast with Bo and Clint, where we deep dive into the world of personal development through coin. Confirm it, own it, be intentional, and change the nature of everything.
Welcome to the Nature of Everything with Bo and Clint, where we explore real life growth through coin, which is confirm it, own it, be intentional, and change the nature of everything.
And if you're here, you're already part of the community. We talk about gaps, big and small, the ones that show up in life, and maybe how to move through them with purpose instead of panic.
Yeah, and we do it without a whiteboard or some crazy morning routine. And we try to leave the random Tony Robbins impersonations out of it if we can.
Yeah, and also look, our book is out. It's called Confirm It, Own It, Be Intentional, and Change the Nature of Everything in Your Life. And we really want you to go grab it now at coinyourlife.com.
Also, if you're into this kind of thing, like real talk, no fluff, then by all means, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, all of those places that you intentionally and purposefully waste your time. Just come find us there at Coin Your Life.
So let's get into it. Let's talk about that moment when you look at your calendar or your to-do list and your soul just quietly exits the building. And look, it's not that you're lazy, it's just that you're not feeling it. That spark, it's gone, and that your battery maybe is dead, and suddenly you're questioning everything from your job to your haircut.
Yeah, and here's the thing most people don't realize. Energy, it's diagnostic. Therefore, if you're dragging yourself to some everyday, task, and look, it doesn't mean that you're broken. It just might mean that your frame is.
Exactly. And that's where coin comes in hot. When we say confirm it, we're not saying, you've done something wrong or to admit some kind of defeat. We're just saying take an honest inventory. Is this thing that's draining you, is it because it's hard or because you've assigned it a meaning that sucks the life out of it?
Like that time we talked about in episode 3 when we were discussing the rainbow. In our minds at that time, we kept chasing this pot of gold. And then we realized, like mid podcast, wait a minute. The coins are actually along the path. That whole chase shifted for us when we reframed it. And so what we realized is that the journey, that's the actual win.
I literally love that episode. I mean, we didn't even know what we were doing. We really did pick up their coins along the way there. I think we even apologized to the leprechauns because apparently, we learned that we were the ones filling that pot of gold.
Yep. Sorry, little guys. Still figuring it out. But seriously, like this is the power of reframing. You don't need a new career or a whole new relationship. And you definitely don't need a whole new life plan. You might just need a better lens to see it with.
Yeah, so how do you reframe something in real time? Like, I would offer that you ask different questions instead of, why do I hate this? Maybe you ask what about this could be an opportunity? Or how could this actually serve me if I would look at it differently?
And once you reframe, energy tends to follow. That doesn't mean you'll suddenly, absolutely love purging your email inbox or anything, but it might mean you can see it as an act of stewardship instead of some laboring aspect of suffering.
And this is also where we want to be honest and tell you that coin is not designed for trauma. It's not designed for a true epic emergency. If your house is metaphorically or literally on fire, like, don't reach for the coin book, call a professional.
Right. But coin is for those unexpected gaps. The quote unquote, I didn't see this thing coming. Like when your job gets weird or your friendships like fall off and start to fade in some way, or you wake up one day and realize that your goals don't excite you anymore. That is absolutely where coin fits in.
Yeah, those moments, they're invitations. They're not indictments. You're not failing. You're just being invited to reframe. And when you do, like you said, Clint, your energy will follow. And the next steps, they become way more clear.
So let's break this down. If you're asking yourself, when do I need to reframe? The short answer is whenever your energy drops, but your responsibility doesn't.
That's good.
Yeah, so when the thing still matters, but it feels super heavy instead of hopeful, that's your moment. That's when you should reframe what you're dealing with.
And here's the practical piece. A 2010 Stanford study found that people who actually reframed stressful tasks as challenges instead of threats, they had significantly better performance. They had better focus, and hell, they even had lower cortisol. Your brain literally works better when you shift the frame.
Boom. There's some science for you. You know what?
Science.
It's fantastic. And it tracks because we're not talking, again, about woo-woo stuff. Like we're not talking about manifesting your destiny type of, weird voodoo. We're talking about how perception truly shapes your body response, and there is science to back it up.
So here's how you could use coin to walk it out. Step 1, always confirm it. Name the thing. Don't dress it up. Say, I feel drained every time I open my laptop. Or say, this project just doesn't excite me anymore. You're not making excuses. You're really just stating reality.
So step 2 is to own it. So take responsibility for that, not blame. Again, it's not an indictment, but you have to take responsibility for this and maybe ask yourself, what story am I telling myself about this? Is it that you're trapped or are you behind? Have you not put in enough effort thus far, which is making you feel this way? Because those stories, like depending on what you're telling yourself, they can rob you of that energy faster than the task itself.
That's good. Yeah, and ask yourself, like, what do I need to shift so that this feels aligned again? Sometimes it's just the language we use. Instead of, I have to do this, try, I get to lead this, or change the context. I mean, do work in a new space, or turn on some music, set a timer, turn your jog into a sprint.
Sure, because that intentionality that you're talking about, that's that final piece as we change the nature of everything. This is in changing the nature, that's where things get fun. Now that you have reframed it, you get to ask yourself, like, what's one small thing I can do to move forward with this energy that I have? It could be starting with that easier task, or like you said, if you've changed the setting, if you've used music or set a timer, what wild idea comes now with letting go of whatever was holding you back? Because whatever that thing is, it might not need doing.
That's it. Coin doesn't fix the situation. It reframes your relationship to it. And that shift, it just changes how you show up.
And let's be honest, most of the stuff that we feel stuck in isn't actually a crisis. It's just a frame that stops serving us.
And the good news, the frames can be changed. Even the IKEA ones. Like you just need a little coin and maybe that little tiny Allen wrench.
All right, so before you start coining your entire life, let's set some healthy expectations. Because coin isn't necessarily a universal fix all at one time. It's powerful, but it's not built to address everything all at once.
Yeah, let's be clear about that. Like, we've really talked a lot about coin, and we don't believe that coin is for processing existential trauma or grief or life or death moments. Like, that's not coin's lane. You don't coin your way through a panic attack or a really heavy family crisis. You get support. Maybe a therapist or a doctor or your team of crisis friends.
Absolutely. But if you're in a season where you feel off, like uninspired or out of sync, maybe lost in the shuffle, coin can be that thing that turns those lights back on.
I swear the lights are going to come back on. If you're in your, I don't know, your late 30s, you're successful on paper, But every morning you're asking, like, is this it? Like, that's a coin moment.
Absolutely. If you're someone who keeps ghosting your own goals, like you're running from them for some reason, I don't know, maybe you have a vision board or the planner or these things that are, I don't know, 3 untouched courses that you bought that were on sale online, but you just haven't gotten to it. You haven't gotten that get around to it moment. Coin is for you. This is that moment.
Yeah, or maybe like if your relationships feel stale, but you can't figure out why, you're still showing up and you're still trying, but like you don't know why they're not really blowing up. Like they don't feel good. Coin helps you reframe what you're expecting. It helps you reframe how you're showing up and what you actually want.
So if you've ever felt like your job or your schedule or your home life or whatever, even if your personality seems like it's on autopilot, Coin helps you reintroduce yourself to yourself in that authentic way.
Yeah. Now, if you're navigating active trauma like abuse, addiction, deep depression, this is not the only toolkit. You need support with a professional, somebody with experience and true care models.
And look, we love you all enough to tell you that because truly the worst thing we could do is give you a self-help band-aid when what you might need is surgery at a time.
But for all the people that are the I'm mostly fine, but I'm kind of miserable crowd, Coin really is a game changer. It's not therapy, it's not hype, it's just a clean framework to help you process your own reality with a little more clarity and a lot more choice.
It is for the people who didn't see the gap coming. Like these weird circumstantial detours that life just happens to throw at you. They're subtle drifts. You know what? And these seasons that sneak up on you and say, hey, you're not who you used to be. So, now what? That's exactly what this is for.
So let's give them an example. Let's talk about Sam.
Metaphorical Sam.
Metaphorical Sam.
I like metaphorical Sam.
Sam is 37.
Mm-hmm.
He's a high school counselor by day and amateur guitar hoarder by night. He's married. He's got 2 kids, a decent house, decent health, and probably like a fridge full of LaCroix, like that nobody ever drinks.
Every time he opens his fridge, it's like a museum of missed intentions.
But look, lately, Sam's been kind of off. He's not broken. He's not totally burned out. He's just off. He's got this low grade fog and he can't seem to shake it. Like life turned into a group text and he didn't ask to be in it.
Sure, I get that. He starts dragging himself through the motions, right? Like emails now feel heavier and parenting feels like a performance. And his guitar, I mean, it just sits there untouched, right? And he starts to wonder, hey, wasn't I supposed to be more fired up and motivated than this?
And let's say he hears about Coin. Maybe a friend shares the podcast, or maybe he's just scrolling through social media and comes across a reel that actually hits. It doesn't matter, but either way, Sam leans in.
So he starts with the confirmation piece. He confirms it. He doesn't gaslight himself, but he gets to write something down. And he writes down, I feel numb at work. I feel like I'm babysitting my own life. That's real.
Yeah. Then he owns it. He admits he's been saying yes to every request, every meeting, every weekend obligation, and never once asked if those things even matter to him anymore.
And that's the key. He realizes his exhaustion, it's not physical, it's directional. His life is moving, but it's not moving where he wants it to go.
Yeah, and now Sam gets intentional. He didn't quit his job or sell his house or, go live in a van and start a YouTube channel. He just starts the Tuesday. He blocks off an hour, a little bit of time, and he calls it his reset session. He uses that time to plan guitar nights or schedule a solo hike or say no to one thing a week that used to be an automatic yes.
And boom, that's when it happens. Like 3 weeks in, he's thinking to himself, I'm not fixed. I'm not completely overhauled in any way, but I am back and I'm authentically me. And you know what? I feel like I can breathe again.
That's Coin. It's not that grand makeover. It's just, this is an example of how you could just change your frame and how you can get your fire back.
All right, so let's bring this full circle. If you're feeling off, if you're unmotivated and your energy's low and you're just drained and you're circling the same question for days, again, you're not failing. You're just overdue for that moment to reframe your situation.
And reframing it's not denial. It's a strategy. It's saying, I'm not stuck, I'm stumped. And that means that there's still motion in the mess.
Ownership doesn't mean blaming yourself. Remember that. It means recognizing you're still the one holding the pen. You get to shape the sentence. You get to shape the words in your next phrase.
Yeah, coin is a practice. It's not a magic trick. You might have to confirm and own the same thing more than once. That's not failure. That's just reps.
Yeah, and that repetition, that's the work. Not fixing everything all at once, just showing up, reframing the moment, and choosing to move with your authentic intention. Even if it's a small step, it's an integral step that matters in the long run.
Yeah, I mean, I dare you to take the smallest possible step. Just take one step, but make it like the smallest possible step. Reclaim just 5 minutes. Ask a better question. Change your story. Shift your energy. Like when you do, yeah, you just changed the nature of everything.
Yeah, so before you move on with your day, if this lands for you, if this gets traction with you, what we're talking about, then it made you think and it helped you breathe easier, or it reminded you that you're actually not stuck. Turn that over to someone else. Send it to a friend, like the one who's been, a little quiet lately, or the one who keeps saying, I don't know what's wrong, or I just feel off. Okay, that gap, that moment, that's exactly what Coin was built for. Share it, pass it along.
Yeah, and if you're just now finding us, welcome. Like I said, you're already part of this community. And if you've been here a while, you know the heart of this isn't about hype, it's about honesty.
And if you want to go deeper, our book is out. Confirm it, own it, be intentional, and change the nature of everything in your life. You can grab it at coinyourlife.com. It's the framework that we've been using. And on the good days and the hard days and in the in-between days and where life just feels sideways, like that's where we stay. We stay in this book for that reason.
Yeah, you don't have to have it all figured out. You just need a way forward. Maybe you're stumped. Maybe you're stuck. But that's what Coin can show you. One honest step at a time.
So thanks for being here, and we'll see you all next time.
I dig it.
Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to check out coinyourlife.com and find us on social media.